Hey YouTube, it's Sarah Piggies here. Just a really quick update. Willow was a bit wheezy a wee while ago, but by the time we got a vet appointment, she'd was back to normal. So we thought she'd maybe just had a blocked nose or something. But it came back in a couple of days ago, so we took her to the vets on Friday, and the vet was really happy with her. Like, she said her ears and her eyes and her nose and everything were clear, and that she was just a little cutie, but she did hear the wheezing, so she gave us, I can't really show you the tub because it's got our address on it, but that's it there. It says our name and stuff on it. It's just, what does it say? It's just Batrial, and we have to give her it twice a day, so it's this little syringe. Oh, a bit close. It's like 2.5 mils. I think it's mils. I don't know. It's like that much of this syrup stuff, and then mixed with some sugar-free diluting juice. So we've been mixing it with some Vimto, and she seems to quite enjoy it. But this morning she wasn't too pleased about taking it. But she is still a tiny bit wheezy. But I have noticed that she's been coming out a bit more now. So I don't know if because the vet said that when they're ill they can't absorb vitamin C as well, so that's maybe why she's been feeling a bit low. But it was really weird because when she's in her cage on Thursday, I cleaned them all out, so they are a little bit messy. But when I was cleaning them out, I would take them out their cages and put them in their playpen just to run around a bit, and then once their cage was completely clean, I would put them back in and move to the next set of guinea pigs. But when she was when I first put her in the pen, she ran into the pigaloo because I just put all their pigaloos and toys and stuff in there, in the pen. And then I could hear squeaking, so I turned around, and when she was little, she would do laps of the cage or my bedroom, like squeaking and popcorning, like she was really happy, and she was doing that, and I've not seen her do that since she was like 1. Well, she is 1. Not since she was like when we first got her and she first got used to me. She hadn't done it since then, and since Jester was here. But as soon as I put her back in her cage, she ran back and sat in the pigaloo. So I don't quite know why she was doing that, but she's getting a bit better since we've got the medicine. And she's got some of this. The top of it's got our name on it, but it's fine. It's Pro-Texan veterinary stuff. It's basically just stuff you mix. You can hear them all squeaking because they think I've got food. Because it's rustling. It's basically just to put in their water, because their water's slightly cloudier than the rest. It's okay for Bramble and Burdock to drink as well, it won't harm them in any way. It's basically just stuff that, because she's taking medicine, it might upset her stomach, so it's just to stop her from getting like a sore tummy or diarrhea or anything like that. So, but if she has got that, we've got to take her back to the vets. But this should stop that from happening. Here's Dandelion. Ah, silly pig. You're silly. She nibbled my finger. And there's Bella. And it's quite funny because they think they're getting veg, they all line up, like one behind each other. They've always done that. Don't do that, you'll hurt your teeth. And it's a thing that Rosie does all the time. She bites the bars. I don't know if it's to get attention from me, from the other pigs, or... But she's got a tunnel. She's got this wooden peg, which is completely natural, apart from there's some pen on this side, but that doesn't actually go in the cage. My wee sister drew on it. They've got a big wicker ball, and then they've got that big wooden log cabin thing, and they've got cardboard and other cardboard and stuff, but she still feels the need to chew the coroplast, because they'd already done some of the coroplast, but she's took another big chunk out of it, and she chews the bars, so I'm scared that she breaks her teeth. But I'm not quite sure how to stop her from doing it. So I've told her off loads of times, but it doesn't seem to help. I was at Pets at Home a few days ago, and I got a couple of kind of treat things for them. I got the XL. I've not got the wrapper anymore, but it was they were these long cardboard tubes that were stuffed full of dandelion and just different kind of herbage stuff, and they were destroyed within a couple of hours. I just put them in as soon as I got home, and they were gone. Luna liked them as well, because hamsters are supposed to love dandelion, So I cut one in half for her, like, because it was 4 in a packet, so they got one, and they got one. And then I cut one in half, so Luna did have like a whole one to herself, but she got it in 2 different times. But it was really funny because Dandelion, these two took a wee bit longer to eat theirs, I'm not sure why, but Dandelion, she was in the toilet, and I said, like, a bit later, I asked her, like, I was like, where's your treat? And she looked at me, and then ran off, because this big corner house was down there before. She ran off and looked in the house, and looked back at me and started, like, kind of like chewing, as if to say I've eaten it. And then she looked in, I said, where is it? And she looked in that cardboard tunnel, as if to see if it was in there, and then looked at me and came running back over again. So it was as if she actually understood what I was saying. But it was just so funny. I wish I'd got it on camera. And I bought these, the XL complete food cubes with blackcurrant oregano, and you get, I think it's quite stupid because it's like, if you can feed these to your pigs, like, instead of nuggets, and I think you still have to feed them hay, I'm not quite sure, but you can feed them to them instead of nuggets, but they need one of these every 2 days. But, and it's like, they were on offer, these, so they're only like £6 instead of £7.50, and but for my pigs that would be about that'd be like a box a week, and I don't really fancy paying £6.50, well, £6, and then when it goes back up to £7.50 a week, I'd rather buy the big bag for like £20, it lasts me a few months. So, and the pigs, they did like these, but these two didn't really seem to like them very much, Poppy and Rosie, because they had a big chunk left and they wouldn't eat it, so I ended up feeding it to that lot, and it disappeared. Because it's basically just like, there's one left in here, so I'll show it to you, because Luna, she can't really eat these, so, because these are definitely guinea pig food. She does like the nuggets, I will give her one of those every so often, I don't know why, she just really likes the taste of the nuggets. But I tried her with a little tiny bit, I broke a bit off, but she wasn't interested in it. So there's one left that I have got old hay cubes that they got for Christmas, there's one left, so I'll probably just I might give them, like, the majority of the old Christmas hay cubes. Well, they're like still in date and everything, it's fine. And then just because they don't really like these, they are obsessed with them though. They would happily eat these instead of nuggets, I think. So they look like that. They're quite messy though, because they are compressed, but the hay's chopped up really small, so they're quite messy. But if, like, I can smell it, it's really strong smelling, the blackcurrant oregano nuggets. I don't think you can buy them anymore, which makes me sad, because my pigs absolutely loved them, so I don't know if that's why they like these so much. But it's just kind of wrapped up back in the box, so I don't know when I'll feed that to them, because they only had their other ones. I don't know if it was last week. I think it was maybe last Tuesday, maybe? I don't know. I can't remember, but like, they're not proper sugary treats or anything, so it doesn't really matter, and they're supposed to be food, so it doesn't really matter how often I feed those. Look, he's so evil. You can see her teeth. Don't do that, you'll hurt your teeth. Oh, she's licking me now. It tastes nice. Luna's asleep. Dandelion, stop it. And I've moved, yeah, my nails look funny because I was trying out a different nail polish, so. But apparently my fingers taste quite nice. I must taste those hay cubes. I have moved my fish, and yeah, they're in front of Luna's cage now. I would show you them, but there's like stuff in front of them because there's a big chunk of carpet in my room right now. There it is, because it was outside my room, but I'm not sure why it got put in my room, because it was in before and then it got moved outside, but then it started like completely blocking the door into my room. So it's been put back in here, so I'm hoping it's going to get taken to the dump, but I don't know, because I think my gran wants it for the wee spare bedroom. Anyway, that's not really guinea pig related, but anywho. Yesterday at my work, it was very upsetting because it's been really wet here recently, and I don't know if that's affected the animals at all, but 3 have passed away in this week. One of the big horses, she wasn't even that old, but she got injured through the night and nobody knew about it, so they couldn't help her, and she went down and couldn't get back up again, so she passed away. She was like quite old, but she wasn't really old, so that was quite sad, because she was a really nice horse. She was really big. She was like 5'4" hands or something. I meant 15.4 hands or something. So she was really big, but she was just a big gentle giant. She was called Bo. And then one of the rabbits passed away as well, Stomp. But they don't really always know the age of the small animals, so he could have been really old and just passed away of old age, which I'm hoping. But we couldn't handle him because the person who had him before, he was basically like a wild rabbit, but like he wasn't actually wild, because if he was wild he probably would have got out with the run, but he just hated being handled, so we couldn't have told if there was anything wrong with him. And then they used to have two ferrets, Wendy and Rusty, and Wendy had been diagnosed with kidney problems, and they weren't sure if it was tumours on her kidneys, which they could not help, or just kidney failure, which was possible they could help. But last Saturday she was perfectly fine and there was nothing wrong with her. But this Saturday she really scared me, because she'd been separated from Rusty, the other ferret, and she was just curled up in a ball in the hay, and I'd went and got her food bowl and water to like clean it out and change it, and I hadn't like picked her up, but I shouted her name, but she never answered. Well, she never like put her head up or anything. So then when I went to put her food back in, I lifted her up and she was completely limp and really dehydrated. So I don't know if like that had happened through the night as well. So as soon as I noticed this, I went and asked the owner if I could have a syringe. So I was like feeding her water through a syringe, and she seemed to perk up a bit, like her eyes were really sunken in, and her, like when you pinched her skin to see if she's dehydrated, it was sticking up and wouldn't like spring back down. But I managed to rehydrate her throughout the day, but she had to get like a piece of a tablet like to help her kidneys. But when she took it, when I went into the owner's house to give it, like for her to give it to her, and then the owner said that, explained to me what it could be, and that she might not make it because she was 8, and that's pretty old for a ferret. And she said you can go and take her and just sit with her in the tack room if you want, because we'd finished all our work. So I sat with her in the tack room, and at about 3:10, 40 minutes later, she passed away while I was holding her. Which, like, I absolutely, like, when I first met the ferrets, it wasn't I didn't like them, I was just a bit wary of them, because I'd never really, like guinea pigs, they don't really bite you when they're playing. They nibble you, but they don't bite. And like the ferrets, when they're just playing, they'll like bite on you and stuff. I've only been bitten once by Wendy on the hand, and she bit my knee. I don't really know why. She thought she was digging at it, and she decided to bite it. So she was just lying there, and her body was like shutting down slowly, because she stopped reacting to noise, and her eyes just kind of, she wouldn't blink if you blew, like if you kind of gave her a small gust of wind in her face, she wouldn't blink. And then I had my hand under her tummy to see if she was breathing, and she would stop, take a big sigh, and then carry on again. But it was quite short, sharp breaths, and then she just stopped breathing altogether. And she was an albino, so her eyes were red, and they just went really dull. So she was getting buried today. So we just had to wrap her up in a towel and put her in a carry box. And then the Sunday worker was going to bury her today. So now Rusty's by himself, and we don't know how old he is, so I don't know how long he's going to be by himself, because the owner doesn't really want to get any more ferrets, because she was saying that she'll have to get a companion for him, and then when he passes away, that the next companion will need a companion, so she doesn't want to keep going through that. So every Saturday I'm going to take one of my guinea pig leads, because it's the exact same as a ferret lead. I'm just going to walk him, and I'm going to take some toys and stuff for him to play with. But he was really sad, because he was separated. He really wanted to see what was wrong with her. So as soon as you opened his door, he'd be running over, because where she was like quite, not next door, but there was like a gap between them. He would take off and start trying to dig into where she was to see what was wrong with her, because they'd been together for quite a few years, I think. So I'm just hoping that he doesn't get like really depressed and stop eating and stuff, because it's a whole week till I next see them. So yeah. Okay, this was supposed to be a quick update, but it's kind of long. I'm gonna see if I can grab Dandelion. Nope. She usually lets me pick her up, but she usually doesn't talk to me after I've been away for the night. Like, I was away, I was here last night, but the night before I was at my friend's for going to work. So when I got in, it was late and I was really tired, so I just basically filled up their food and water and then went to bed. So I never got any of them out. I did pet her on the head and stuff, but there's Pops and Burdock. Yeah, so it's been really wet and horrible here the past few days. Yeah, I'm gonna go. Bye.